guys, my name is Biography and I'm gonna be your instructor for this video. The title of this video will be Excel Shortcuts Part 1, and the level intended of users or watchers should be between the beginners up until the lower bracket of intermediate expertise. So without further ado, let's get into it. Okay guys, so we're basically gonna start our video by talking about some of the basics. And when I say basics, I mean stuff that beginners need to know when it comes to shortcuts in Excel. The first shortcut that we're gonna learn is about opening a file. So you can usually go to File and click on Open, or you can click Ctrl plus O and it will directly take you to a lot of options that you can pick. The second shortcut that we're gonna learn is about creating a new file. So you can create a new file by the same. You can navigate with the mouse and try to pick a new file, or you can use the Ctrl plus N and you can see that automatically a new book, a new workbook will open by itself without even asking you to save or adjust anything on the old book. The third one is saving a file. So let's say that we've done some adjustments, I've put some numbering over here, and I want to save the file. I can always navigate with the mouse, click File and Save or Save As, or I can easily click Ctrl plus S. And then you can pick which one you wanna actually select. Afterwards, we're gonna learn important shortcuts that are heavily used whenever you are actually working in the sheet itself. So let's say I want to duplicate a certain cell. For example, let's say that I have this cell contains a name, and then this cell contains a gender type. And in the name, I have, first of all, I have Gabby, it's male, and then I have Muhammad, and I just want to copy this cell and put it here. So the shortcut that we use in Excel is the shortcut that we use usually in Windows, and it is Ctrl plus C. So basically, you copy what you want, and then you go and paste it by Ctrl and V. So copy, Ctrl and C, paste, Ctrl and V. So you need to notice something over here, that the cell here that has male does not have any formatting techniques. So basically, if there's no formatting inside of it and I want to copy it, it will just copy the text, right? The text. However, you need to pay attention for this one though. If you have a cell over here that says age, and Gabby's age is 23, Gabby's age is 23, Muhammad's age is the same as Gabby and it's 23. However, Gabby's age has been marked by yellow and colored in red. If I just want to copy Gabby's age and put it on for Muhammad, and I use the Ctrl C and then I go down and I use the Ctrl V, it will also copy the formatting that the cell C3 had. So pay attention for that, and I'm gonna get back to that later on in the copying and pasting and the formatting techniques of cells. But for the sake of simplicity, we're just gonna stick to what we are learning here, and we're gonna say that copy is Ctrl plus C and paste is Ctrl plus V. Now, if I want to select everything in the sheet, so if we press Ctrl plus A, you're gonna see that we're gonna get a selection for the work that we've done. If we press it again, we're gonna have a selection all over the sheet that we're working on. And you need to pay attention that we're not selecting everything down there, like the other sheets that I have in my workbook are not selected. Okay, so again, Ctrl plus A, it will select everything. If I have my selection on any of the cells that has input in it and I press Ctrl plus A, it will select the whole work that I've done. And if I do it again, it will select the whole sheet. If I put my selector outside of any cell that has any value, and I press Ctrl+A, it will take it all. So this is also important for you guys to know. After that, I'm gonna move on to another shortcut that is heavily used. So imagine that you have downloaded a whole database from the internet and you're just looking for a specific value. In order for you to try to find that value, focus on the word find, you need to use the following shortcut, Ctrl+F. So Ctrl+F allows you to find a specific value or text or input within a certain cell. So if I'm looking for Muhammad, it will find it for me. If I'm just looking for a GA, which is part of Gabby, it will also find it for me. The final basic shortcut that I'm going to be talking about, which is really important, is duplicating an action. Excel allows you guys to be able to duplicate a certain action by pressing only a single button. Let's select row 4, Control plus, which is the shortcut. It will add a row for us. And then I want to do this over and over and over again. I can do that by the shortcut, which is a function 4 or F4 on the keyboard, and you can actually find the F4 button at the top almost left side of the keyboard. So if you press F4, 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 you can see that a lot of columns have been duplicated because I'm actually asking Excel to duplicate the last action that I've done, which is adding a row. Now, if I want to remove the rows that I have created, you need to go up and then you need to remove the rows row by row. So remove 4, 5, we removed rows, and then we can press F4, 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 and you can see that all the rows that have went actually down are now being removed by a single button, which is the duplicate button, duplicate action button, which is F4. Now moving on from the basics to the appearances, which I was actually talking about in a bit, there are also shortcuts for you guys to select or deselect a row or a column. For you guys to select a row, a complete row, you can go with the mouse and click on 7. Or you can actually click on any cell within that row and press Shift and Space. Right? So imagine that you're working in a very complicated sheet. Sometimes it's very time consuming for you guys to always go back, click on the 7 or click on the 8, and sometimes you might actually press on it, you might hit it, sometimes you might not, especially if you have a very detailed sheet like that. For example, you have to go and you have to look for the 7. I would rather actually press Shift and Space, and you're gonna have your row selected. Now, if I want to select a column, I will use Control plus Space, and I will have the column selected. Now, if you have selected Shift and Space, selected row 7, you want to also select row 8, 9, 10. All you have to do is keep on pressing on the Shift and go down. Or if you want to go up, you press Shift, and then you go up, 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 and up. Now we need to learn how to add. So imagine that I want to add a name. I forgot to add a name between Gabby and Muhammad, which is Jesse. For me to be able to add a row, I need to always remember that whenever I add a row, it will appear on top. So if I want it to be in between, I need to go to Muhammad's row, and I need to add it on top. So I will go to Muhammad's row. I will select the whole row by Shift and Space, and then I will use the shortcut to add. And it's the same shortcut that we use to add a column or add a row. But the important thing is you need to have the column or the row selected first. So press Control and plus, and you'll see a row appearing. So we'll add Jesse, female. Now if we have found out that one of those guys have dropped the course and we need to remove his row, we always have to start with selecting, and then we press, instead of Control plus, Control minus. So plus is for add, minus is for deduction, removal. So Control minus, and we're going to see that the row has actually disappeared. Now if I did that by mistake and I want to adjust that, so I want to have it back. So if I have deleted that, Control minus, and I want it back, I can simply plus Control Z, and it will take me back to where I was one step before I did my mistake. Usually, if I have a name and I have gender and I want to select, I press Shift and I can move with the arrow keys. Or I can use the mouse and I can select. But again, we're trying as much as possible to avoid using the mouse. However, if I want to select them in a fast manner, I can press Shift Control, go down. You see? It took all the data that I have. And this is what we call the boundaries. So it goes from the high boundary to the low boundary. So if you want to have a quick selection, Shift Control and down. And then you just go right, because the data that's not selected is on the right and you actually want to have it selected. Thank you for watching, guys. I hope that you have learned a bit of shortcuts that are really helpful. So please make sure to hit that like button and subscribe and stay tuned. Thank you, everyone.